YouTube. This is a video called Kneelers Are the Patriots in 650 words or less. When Ida B. Wells exposed the reasons for lynchings, she was chased out of town and her press was smashed. When Black Wall Street was doing better than whites in Oklahoma, it was bombed in 1921. When a black group took up armed resistance against local police in Philadelphia, it was bombed from above. Fannie Lou Hamer was beaten for registering black voters in Mississippi. Trayvon Martin was essentially stalked for being black in a predominantly white neighborhood. Michael Brown was called a thug for robbing a store, but say he did, how many white male deaths are justified because they robbed a store? How many white males get charged with fraud for turning in voter registration forms and get their computers seized like the New Georgia Project did under former Attorney General Brian Kemp? How many tales of banning black people from towns or harassment of a mixed-race couple do we hear when they are in predominantly white neighborhoods? How many black neighborhoods have been destroyed in search of white wealth? How many white women get denied callbacks because their names are, quote, too black or ethnic? How many white women fear their sons will not survive a police encounter because of their daily reality? How many unarmed white men have been killed for reading a book in their car, selling cigarettes, or reaching for their license? Until this is your reality, you have no right to tell me how to protest, or that I can't protest the national anthem that celebrates slavery, or that I have no voice. Black Lives Matter was and remains a rallying cry against police violence. Standing up and protesting and even rioting is never condemned when white people have done it. Take a look at Vancouver in 2011. They put up a picture of a man kissing his girlfriend and it went viral. However, when Ferguson residents lashed out against something they could physically touch that wouldn't shoot them back, it was suddenly called a riot and they were thugs. White people have rioted over Joe Paterno being fired, a child molester, an enabler, being fired, Cabbage Patch Dolls in 1983, and let's not forget taxes. And not only that, but let's go back to Ferguson when Oath Keepers were walking around heavily armed and the police allowed them. If there were black people running around armed, they would have been shot before they even put the gun on. White males are called lone wolves when they shoot up a theater or kill 58 in Las Vegas, but the media gets confused when there's no shootings at Straight Outta Compton premieres. They justify the death of a black man any way they can, but a white male needed help. Then again, when black women need help, they are leeches. And Donald Trump is a genius because he doesn't pay his taxes. Ironic, isn't it? It's always easy to get tired of hearing black people complain when you aren't discriminated against until a black kid gets into an Ivy League school. The kneeling players were good enough to get drafted in the first, second, third, or whatever rounds of the NFL and is overwhelmingly black. However, when it comes time to talk about my reality or how free, white, and 21 is a sledgehammer to my being, because no matter how old I am, I will never be white, so I will never be free. It is easy to call out one act of racism rather than to confront racist attitudes. It is easier to say someone was wrong than the system is not broken, but white equals justice, and even then, rich white equals justice, or evading punishment. They are patriots calling attention to something that many white people would rather forget just to be entertained. After they are off the stage, they can still be pulled over and roughed up until the cops realize they're famous. Then comes the excuses. Even in their uniforms, they are still thugs. This is why they kneel. They are patriots kneeling against an unjust system.